listening to the Canadian Destroyer Wrestling Podcast with your host, the Oatmeal Hero on YouTube.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Canadian Destroyer Wrestling Podcast. This is your host, the Oatmeal Hero, right here on youtube.ca or .com, whichever country you're from. So, yesterday, the Battleground happened, WWE pay-per-view. For those who know me quite well, I am not a very big fan of the WWE Battleground pay-per-view. I never have, I never will, because it always puts on a D product. Always. To be completely honest with you, I'm not gonna lie about this. I am not really interested in doing this whole thing here, this review, because there's really nothing to review. Like, we had the brand split last week, which was cool. So everyone's, like, the battle lines have been drawn. Raw versus SmackDown, which is perfectly fine. The Dean Ambrose retained the championship, beating Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, which I thought was a pretty decent match. Wasn't too extravagant. The Miz and Darren Young, I found that really weird, just because of the fact that it was a double disqualification, which I thought was stupid. The way how it ended, like it was just a mess, some stupidness what happened outside of the ring, and then they both ended up getting disqualified. So that was kind of pointless. Hopefully it'll be better at SummerSlam. Honestly, if they were gonna do this, they should have just build up the storyline till SummerSlam. And Rusev, clearly being the Bulgarian brute that he is, he did lay a beating down on Zack Ryder, but Zack Ryder did put a really good effort in it, even to the point after the match where Mojo Rawley came down to save him being Zack Ryder. The John Cena, Enzo, Big Cass, they beat the club. This was another, I wasn't really expecting too much on this, but it was alright, I guess. Like, you know, it was entertaining, that's for sure. Of course, if you have a match with Enzo and Big Cass, you know, the Smack Talker Skywalker, you already know is going to be pretty damn crazy and very entertaining, and that it actually was. The Wyatt family did beat the New Day. Xavier Wood has this thing about being hypnotized with Bray Wyatt, and it just really boggles the mind. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, how cheesy could this possibly be? But it was a pretty good fight. They did put up a pretty good fight. Unfortunately, you know, Woods, he got hit with Sister Abigail and fell short. I think the highlight reel was Chris Jericho and Randy Orton, was pretty funny. Randy Orton did put a lot of cheap shots inside there towards Jericho and Lesnar. It was great. The fans were loving it, and the RKO out of nowhere just made it even better. Now, the match, clearly what stole the night was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn did become victorious. 2 haluva kicks straight to Owens' face to pick up the win, and hopefully this will be the end of the rivalry. But if it isn't, I wouldn't be disappointed, and I wouldn't be like, oh my god, here we go again. No, I would actually be totally for it, because these guys can really wrestle. Another thing what I'm really concerned about is that a move that a move that Sami Zayn does on a regular basis, he didn't execute it very well yesterday, and he kind of landed on his his operated shoulder. So I'm a little concerned, a little worried, but you know what, Sami Zayn, he is resilient. He will come back. I'm pretty sure it was just a little bit of a setback. I hope that he's okay in general, because it did look pretty bad and nasty. Natalya defeated Becky Lynch, no brainer there. Like I said, I'm one of those guys. I do root for Becky Lynch. Me being Canadian, I do have to root for Natalya as well too. So I am happy that Natalya actually did pick up a pay-per-view win. It's about time. And I'm not really liking this losing streak of Becky Lynch. That's starting to get a little bit annoying. But I think the biggest thing what people were shocked about, and even I myself, was the introduction of Bayley to the WWE universe. Now, for those who watch NXT, you are very familiar with Bayley and her work. Now, this is kind of I'm not sure if it was a one-time thing or she's actually on the main roster right now, but she does have a rematch clause for the for the NXT Women's Championship, which is supposed to happen over at TakeOver 2 Brooklyn. So if she does stay on the main roster because of this, it's great. If it was a one-time deal, you know what, for those who watched it last night, it was totally worth the wait. I personally enjoyed it. The WWE Universe, they thoroughly enjoyed it. Sasha Banks, you could see the joy and the tears building up in the corner of her eyes. She enjoyed it. Charlotte, she knows she has to play the heel, and she did a very good job doing that, and as she always does. You know, it did hit her very strong because, you know, she's a part of the 4 Horsewomen, you know what I mean? So when Bayley came out, like it struck, like, you know, it was heartwarming and it was great. So this, I would have to say, this is clearly the highlight of Battleground 2016. Regardless, Monday Night Raw is approaching us very, very soon, and then tomorrow night, SmackDown Live. I don't know why it calls just SmackDown. Why they just can't call it just SmackDown? Like, you don't have to say SmackDown Live. We're gonna call it Raw Live now. Like, Raw's always been live. Now we get the point. SmackDown is taped on Tuesday. There's no need to annoy people. Anyways, it is what it is. Battleground 2016. That was alright. Bayley, thumbs up, thumbs up. I hope they build upon a couple of other storylines, what they had here. Like maybe the rubber match between AJ Styles and John Cena now, right? Maybe they'll actually have a proper win with, or a victor with Darren Young and Miz. Anyways, I'm your boy, the Oatmeal Hero, and you've been listening to the Canadian Destroyer Wrestling Podcast. And remember, anything else is just a sunset flip powerbomb. Canadian Destroyer Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to the Canadian Destroyer Wrestling Podcast with your host, the Oatmeal Hero on YouTube.